sabotaged my high school bully's job interview, and I don't feel bad about it. I've been working at a tech company for 5 years now and recently got promoted to a management position. Last month, my boss told me we were building a new team and I'd be doing interviews for the next few weeks. They gave me this huge list of candidates on pretty short notice. My job was simple, just interview them and write up my thoughts on each person. Since we just started doing in-person interviews again after being remote, everything felt kind of chaotic and disorganized. I was going through the schedule when I saw a name that made my stomach drop. Brad Mitchell. It had been 15 years since high school, but I could never forget that name. Brad was the guy who made my life absolute hell from freshman year until graduation. I was this overweight theater kid who took all AP math and science classes. Brad was the stereotypical jock bully who thought it was hilarious to make fun of me every single day. He'd knock my books out of my hands in the hallway, make pig noises when I walked past his lunch table, and once even pantsed me in front of the entire gym class during basketball. Those were genuinely the worst years of my life, and Brad was a huge part of why. So seeing his name on my interview list felt like some kind of cosmic joke. I kept telling myself it had to be a different Brad Mitchell. Common name, right? Then interview day came. The second Brad walked through the door, I knew it was him. He looked older, obviously, but it was definitely the same person. He had the same cocky smile and that same walk like he owned every room he entered. At first, he didn't recognize me. I've lost a lot of weight since high school and I dress completely differently now. We shook hands and sat down and I started asking the standard interview questions. Then about 10 minutes in, I saw it click in his brain. His eyes got wide and he went, "Wait, are you from Lincoln High?" I said, "Yeah," and he immediately switched into this fake friendly mode. Started talking about the good old days and asking if I remembered this teacher or that football game, like we were old buddies catching up. I just smiled and nodded and kept the interview going. His actual interview performance was pretty average. Nothing impressive, but nothing terrible either. He had the right experience on paper, but his answers were kind of generic and he didn't really stand out from the other candidates at all. Then at the end, as he was getting up to leave, he gave me this big smile and said, "So I can count on you to put in a good word for me, right? Since we go way back?" He said it like it was already a done deal. Like, of course his old high school friend would hook him up. I just laughed and told him I'd submit my review soon. He left feeling confident, I could tell. Probably thought he had this job in the bag because he knew someone on the inside. That night I sat down to write up all my interview notes. When I got to Brad's review, something came over me. I wrote the most brutal evaluation I've ever written for any candidate. I downplayed every single positive thing about his interview and exaggerated every tiny flaw or weak answer he gave. Then I added a note at the end saying that the candidate had tried to leverage a claimed personal relationship from high school to pressure me into giving him preferential treatment. I made it sound really unprofessional and inappropriate. I submitted all the reviews the next day. Brad didn't get the job. One of the other candidates who actually impressed me got hired instead. I found out later through LinkedIn that Brad is still job hunting. The weird part is, I don't feel guilty about it at all. 15 years ago, that guy made me dread going to school every single day. Now I'm successful and he needed something from me, and I made sure he didn't get it.